The Awakening of the Ancients. In the quiet town of Eldridge, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, Eloan had always felt an inexplicable pull toward history. As a young historian with an insatiable curiosity, she spent countless hours in dusty libraries and ancient ruins, piecing together fragments of humanity's past. However, her latest discovery was unlike anything she had encountered before. One fateful afternoon, while sifting through a collection of old manuscripts in the town's library, Eloan stumbled upon a tattered scroll that spoke of celestial visitors who had once walked among humans. The text described strange beings descending from the skies in fiery chariots and imparting knowledge to early civilizations. Intrigued yet skeptical, she meticulously translated each line, her heart racing at the implications. Determined to explore this further, Eloan sought out Thorn, a renowned archaeologist known for his rigorous skepticism regarding fringe theories. He was well respected in academic circles but had little patience for what he deemed fanciful ideas about ancient aliens. Nevertheless, she believed that his expertise could lend credibility to her findings. Thorn, she began hesitantly as they met in his cluttered office filled with artifacts and research papers. "You need to see this scroll I found. It suggests that our ancestors had contact with extraterrestrial beings." Thorn raised an eyebrow, adjusting his glasses as he leaned back in his chair. "Eloan, you know I respect your passion for history. But you must understand that many ancient texts are often exaggerated or misinterpreted." Eloan pressed on, unfurling the scroll on his desk. "But look at this. It describes events that align with various myths across cultures, the gods descending from the heavens. What if these were not just myths but real encounters?" He studied the text closely, his skepticism wavering as he noticed parallels to other historical accounts he had previously dismissed. "I suppose there could be some merit to your argument," he conceded reluctantly. "But we need solid evidence before jumping to conclusions." Encouraged by his openness, Eloan proposed they embark on an expedition to investigate ancient sites mentioned in the scrolls, places where celestial phenomena were reported throughout history. Thorn agreed but insisted they approach it scientifically. Their journey began at an ancient temple rumored to have been a site of worship dedicated to these celestial beings. As they arrived at the site nestled deep within a forest, Eloan felt an electric energy in the air, a sense of being on the brink of something monumental. "Look at these carvings," she exclaimed as they entered the temple ruins. Intricate depictions adorned the walls, figures resembling humans alongside strange creatures with elongated limbs and large eyes. Thorn examined them closely. "These could be artistic interpretations of deities," he suggested cautiously. "But what if they're not?" Eloan countered passionately. "What if these are records of actual beings who visited our ancestors? We need to dig deeper." As they explored further into the temple's depths, they discovered hidden chambers filled with artifacts, tools and relics that appeared far more advanced than what should have existed during that era. Among them was a peculiar device that emitted faint vibrations when touched. "What do you think this is?" Thorn asked as he carefully lifted it from its resting place. "I don't know," Eloan replied breathlessly. "But it could be evidence of advanced technology, perhaps even alien technology." Their excitement was palpable as they began documenting their findings meticulously. However, as night fell and shadows danced eerily around them, an unsettling feeling crept over Eloan, a sense that they were not alone. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the chamber as if responding to their presence. The ground beneath them trembled slightly, causing dust to cascade from above. "Did you feel that?" Thorn asked sharply, his eyes wide with apprehension. "Yes," Eloan whispered anxiously. "What was that?" Before they could react further, bright lights illuminated the entrance of the temple from outside, lights unlike anything they had ever seen before. They exchanged bewildered glances as fear mingled with exhilaration. Could it be? Eloan started but was interrupted by Thorn's urgent voice. "We need to get out of here." He grabbed her arm and pulled her toward the exit just as an otherworldly hum filled the air around them. As they emerged into the night sky illuminated by strange lights hovering above them like stars come alive, Eloan couldn't shake off her growing conviction: something extraordinary was unfolding before their very eyes. "Thorn," she said breathlessly as they stood outside staring up at the spectacle above them. "This isn't just history anymore, it's happening right now." With hearts racing and minds swirling with possibilities, Eloan and Thorn stood united in their quest for truth, a truth that would challenge everything they thought they knew about humanity's past and its connection to otherworldly forces yet unseen. This marks part 1 of Ancient Alien Wars: Shocking Revelations. The journey continues as we delve deeper into this captivating narrative filled with intrigue and cosmic encounters. The Battle of the Celestial Beings. As dawn broke over the ancient city of Kiloria, the air was thick with anticipation. The city, known for its towering stone structures and vibrant marketplaces, was about to witness an event that would change its history forever. Kale, a skilled warrior and protector of his people, stood atop the city walls, gazing at the horizon where the sun began to rise. Little did he know that this day would not only test his strength but also reveal the existence of beings beyond his imagination. Kale had always been a man of action, known for his bravery in battle and unwavering loyalty to his king. However, as he scanned the skies, a strange unease settled in his gut. The previous night, whispers had spread through the city of unusual lights flickering in the heavens, a celestial display that many believed heralded a significant event. The elders spoke of omens and prophecies, but Kale dismissed them as mere superstition. "Kale," a voice called from behind him. It was Yarok, his closest friend and fellow warrior. "Are you ready for today's training? The king expects us to be at our best." "Training can wait," Kale replied, still fixated on the sky. "Something feels different today." Yarok followed his gaze but saw only the serene morning sky. "You're letting your imagination run wild again. Focus on what's ahead. We have a battle to prepare for." As they descended from the walls and made their way to the training grounds, Kale couldn't shake off the feeling that something monumental was about to unfold. The air crackled with energy, and he sensed that fate had woven a different path for him and his people. Meanwhile, high above Kiloria, in the vast expanse of space, 2 alien factions prepared for an impending conflict. Lyra, a celestial being from the planet Arcturus, stood aboard her ship, gazing down at Earth. Her kind had observed humanity for centuries, intrigued by their development yet wary of their violent tendencies. "Commander Lyra," a voice interrupted her thoughts. It was Zoran, her second in command. "The scouts report that our rivals are approaching Earth's atmosphere. They seek control over this planet's resources." Lyra clenched her fists in determination. "We cannot allow them to exploit these beings. They may be primitive, but they possess potential beyond their understanding." The opposing faction, led by a ruthless warlord named Varek, sought to conquer Earth and enslave its inhabitants for their own gain. Varek's ships descended like shadows across the sky as they entered Kiloria's atmosphere. Back on Earth, as Kale and Yarok trained with their fellow warriors, an ominous rumble echoed through the air. The ground shook beneath their feet as if responding to some unseen force. Suddenly, brilliant lights erupted in the sky, blinding flashes that illuminated the entire city. "What in the name of the gods is happening?" Yarok shouted as he shielded his eyes from the brilliance. Kale's heart raced as he looked up to see massive ships engaged in aerial maneuvers above them, shapes unlike anything he had ever seen before. They glimmered with metallic surfaces and emitted beams of light that danced across the sky. "Get everyone inside," Kale commanded urgently. "We need to protect our people." As chaos erupted in Kiloria, citizens fled in all directions, seeking shelter from what they believed to be divine wrath or an invasion from other realms. But Kale knew better: this was not a natural phenomenon, it was a battle between celestial beings. Lyra watched from her ship as Varek's forces unleashed devastating energy blasts toward her fleet. She felt a surge of anger rise within her. She would not let her people fall victim to tyranny. "Prepare for engagement," she ordered fiercely. "We will defend this planet and its inhabitants." The two factions clashed in an awe-inspiring display of power. Beams of light crisscrossed through the sky as ships darted and weaved like dancers in an intricate ballet of warfare. From below, Kale and Yarok stood transfixed by the spectacle unfolding above them. "This is madness!" Yarok exclaimed as he watched ships collide mid-air, sending debris raining down onto the city streets. Kale felt a sense of duty ignite within him. He could not stand idly by while his home faced destruction. "We cannot simply watch. We must help." "But how?" Yarok protested. "Those beings are not like us, we have no weapons against them." Kale's eyes narrowed with resolve as he spotted an ancient artifact displayed prominently in one of the temples nearby, a relic said to hold immense power capable of influencing celestial forces. "We'll use that artifact," he declared decisively. "It may be our only chance." With urgency fueling their every move, Kale and Yarok raced toward the temple amidst falling debris and panicked citizens seeking refuge from the chaos above. Inside the temple, they found themselves surrounded by intricate carvings depicting ancient battles between gods and celestial beings, stories passed down through generations that now felt eerily relevant. "There it is." Kale pointed toward a pedestal where a glowing orb pulsed with energy, a relic said to be imbued with protective powers. As they reached for it simultaneously, a blinding light enveloped them both. In an instant, they were transported into another realm, a space filled with swirling colors and ethereal sounds. "What just happened?" Yarok gasped as they found themselves standing before Lyra's ship. Lyra emerged from her vessel with an air of authority mixed with curiosity as she observed these two human warriors who had somehow crossed into her domain. "You possess great courage," she acknowledged solemnly. "But your world is caught in a battle far beyond your understanding." Kale stepped forward boldly despite feeling dwarfed by her presence. "We won't let our home fall into darkness. We want to help you fight against Varek." Lyra regarded him thoughtfully before nodding slowly. "Very well, if you wish to join us, you must harness the power within that relic you seek." With newfound purpose igniting within them both, warriors from different worlds united against a common enemy, Kale and Yarok prepared themselves for an extraordinary alliance that would alter not only their lives but also shape humanity's destiny forever. As battles raged on above them and alliances formed below, the fate of Earth hung precariously in balance. An epic confrontation between good and evil awaited just beyond their grasp. The hidden knowledge. As the dust settled from the celestial battle above Kiloria, the city was left in a state of shock and awe. Kale and Yarok, having crossed paths with Lyra, stood at the forefront of a new alliance that would reshape their understanding of existence. They had witnessed the power of celestial beings, and now they were determined to uncover the hidden knowledge that could help their world. Back in the heart of Kiloria, Lyra guided Kale and Yarok to a secluded chamber within her ship, a place filled with artifacts and holographic displays that illuminated the darkened space. The walls were adorned with intricate designs that depicted various celestial events and beings from different worlds. "This is the archive," Lyra explained, her voice resonating with authority. "Here lies the knowledge of countless civilizations, including your own. We have watched over Earth for millennia, but our intervention has always been limited." Kale's eyes widened as he absorbed the vastness of what lay before him. "You mean to say you've been here all along? Why didn't you reveal yourselves sooner?" Lyra sighed, her expression somber. "We have our reasons. Humanity must learn and grow on its own. However, with Varek's threat looming, we can no longer remain in the shadows." Yarok stepped closer to a holographic display that showcased ancient Earth civilizations. "What do you know about our history? About the ancients who built the pyramids and Stonehenge?" Lyra nodded, activating a visual representation of ancient Egypt. Your ancestors were remarkable builders and thinkers. They possessed knowledge that was far beyond their time, much of which was influenced by our visits. Kale felt a surge of excitement mixed with skepticism. Are you saying that the pyramids were built with your help? Not directly, Lyra clarified. We provided guidance, ideas that sparked innovation. The pyramids are a testament to human ingenuity, but they were inspired by our technology. The hologram shifted to depict various artifacts from different cultures, tools, sculptures, and writings that hinted at advanced understanding. These relics hold secrets, Lyra continued. Many are remnants of our interactions with your ancestors. Kale's curiosity piqued as he pointed to an ancient tablet inscribed with strange symbols. What about this one? It looks like it holds significant meaning. Lyra approached the tablet and placed her hand over it, activating a translation feature. The symbols glowed softly as words began to form in their language. This tablet speaks of a prophecy, she revealed, her voice steady. It foretells the return of celestial beings during times of great turmoil, a time when humanity must unite against darkness. Yarrick exchanged glances with Kale, his expression serious. Could this be referring to Varek's invasion? It is possible, Lyra replied thoughtfully. The balance between light and darkness has always existed in your world. Our presence here is to ensure that light prevails. As they delved deeper into the archive, Kale stumbled upon an ancient scroll depicting a celestial map dotted with stars and planets unfamiliar to him. What is this? He asked, tracing his fingers along the intricate lines. That is a map of our galaxy, Lyra explained. It shows pathways between worlds, routes taken by our ships throughout history. Kale's mind raced with possibilities. If we could harness this knowledge, if we could travel between worlds. Lyra interrupted his thoughts. But such power comes with responsibility. You must not seek to conquer or exploit other civilizations as Varek intends. Determined to protect his home and ensure peace among worlds, Kale nodded resolutely. I understand. We will use this knowledge wisely. As they continued their exploration, they uncovered more artifacts, devices that resembled advanced technology capable of communication across vast distances. This device can amplify thoughts, Lyra explained as she demonstrated its function. It allows for telepathic communication between beings. Yarrick marveled at the potential implications. Imagine being able to communicate without words. We could unite our people in ways we never thought possible. Kale felt a sense of urgency wash over him. They needed to act quickly before Varek's forces gained an upper hand. Lyra, he said firmly, we must prepare for battle again soon. If we can gather our people and share this knowledge, we can stand against Varek together. Lyra agreed but emphasized caution. You must first gain their trust, many will fear what they do not understand. With newfound resolve igniting within them all, warriors from Earth and celestial beings united against a common threat, the trio devised a plan to return to Keloria and rally support from its citizens. As they descended back into the city aboard Lyra's ship, Kale felt an overwhelming sense of purpose coursing through him, a determination to protect his home while embracing the mysteries of existence beyond Earth. Upon landing near the city square, they were met with wary gazes from citizens still reeling from the previous night's events. People of Keloria. Kale called out, raising his voice above the murmurs of uncertainty. We stand at a crossroads. Celestial beings have come to aid us against an impending threat. Gasps rippled through the crowd as whispers spread like wildfire, some expressed disbelief while others felt hope stirring within them. Together, he continued passionately, we can harness ancient knowledge and fight back against those who seek to enslave us. Lyra stepped forward beside him, her presence commanding attention as she spoke in a melodic tone that resonated deeply within each listener's heart. We are here not as conquerors but as allies, she declared firmly. Our purpose is to protect this world and ensure its rightful place among the stars. Kale watched as expressions shifted among the crowd, from skepticism to intrigue, as they absorbed Lyra's words. Yarrick seized upon this moment of connection. He stepped forward too, addressing those gathered around them. We've seen what happens when fear takes hold. We cannot allow darkness to consume us. Join us in this fight for freedom. Slowly but surely, hands began to rise in solidarity, people stepping forward with determination etched on their faces. As hope blossomed anew within Kiloria's heart, a city once shrouded in doubt now ignited with purpose, the trio knew that their journey had only just begun. Together they would uncover truths long buried beneath layers of time, together they would forge alliances across realms, together they would confront Varek's tyranny head-on. With newfound strength coursing through them all, their destinies intertwined, they stood ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The rise of the Guardians. The atmosphere in Kiloria was electric with anticipation as the citizens rallied around Kale, Yarrick, and Lyra. The celestial battle had ignited a spark of hope, and now, with the knowledge shared from Lyra's archive, they were ready to unite against Varek's impending invasion. As Kale stood before the crowd, he felt a surge of responsibility wash over him. He was no longer just a warrior, he was a leader, a guardian of his people. The ancient scrolls and artifacts they had uncovered spoke of guardians, beings chosen to protect humanity from darkness. He realized that this was their moment to embody that legacy. "Listen to me," Kale called out, his voice resonating through the square. "We stand on the brink of annihilation, but together we can forge a new destiny. We have knowledge that can turn the tide in our favor." The crowd murmured in agreement, their expressions shifting from fear to determination. Yarrick stepped forward, his presence bolstering Kale's resolve. "We must train and prepare ourselves for battle. Lyra has shown us what we are up against, and we cannot afford to be unprepared." Lyra nodded in agreement, her ethereal aura captivating those around her. "I will teach you the ways of our technology and combat strategies. Together, we can harness both human ingenuity and celestial power." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over Kiloria, training began in earnest. Warriors gathered in groups, practicing combat techniques while others learned how to operate the advanced devices Lyra had introduced. The energy was palpable as hope transformed into action. Kale found himself leading a group of warriors in drills, demonstrating techniques he had learned from both his own training and Lyra's teachings. "Focus on your breathing," he instructed them as they practiced striking motions. "Channel your energy into each movement." Meanwhile, Yarrick worked alongside Lyra to familiarize themselves with the telepathic communication device. They practiced sending thoughts between one another, honing their ability to coordinate without words, a skill that would prove invaluable in battle. As days turned into weeks, Kiloria transformed into a hub of preparation. Citizens who once feared the unknown now embraced it, farmers became warriors, artisans became strategists. The city buzzed with an unwavering spirit as they trained tirelessly under the guidance of their celestial allies. However, amidst this newfound unity, whispers of doubt lingered in some corners of the city. A faction led by an influential elder named Boren questioned the motives behind Lyra's arrival. "Why should we trust these beings?" Boren argued during a town meeting. "They claim to be our allies, but how do we know they won't turn against us when this battle is over?" Kale stepped forward to address Boren's concerns directly. "I understand your fears," he said calmly but firmly. "But we have witnessed their power firsthand. They have come to help us fight against tyranny, not to conquer us." Lyra added her voice to the conversation, her tone soothing yet resolute. "My people have watched over Earth for centuries without interference for a reason. We believe in your potential and wish to see you thrive." Despite her words, Boren remained unconvinced. "And what happens if we win? Will you leave us vulnerable again?" Kale felt frustration bubbling within him but chose patience instead. "We will not abandon you," he promised earnestly. This is not just about defeating Varek, it's about forging an alliance that will last beyond this conflict. The meeting ended with mixed feelings among the citizens, some inspired by Kale's words while others remained skeptical of their celestial allies' intentions. As preparations continued, news arrived that Varek's forces were gathering at the edge of Kiloria's borders, a sight that sent ripples of anxiety through the city. On a clear night under a blanket of stars, Kale gathered his most trusted warriors along with Lyra and Yarok atop a hill overlooking their homeland. "We will face Varek soon," Kale said gravely as he surveyed his comrades' faces illuminated by moonlight. "We cannot let fear dictate our actions, we must fight for our freedom." Lyra stepped forward beside him, her presence radiating strength and wisdom. "Remember what we have learned together, trust in yourselves and each other." As dawn broke on the day of reckoning, warriors donned their armor and gathered weapons forged from both ancient techniques and advanced technology provided by Lyra's people. The air was thick with tension as they marched toward the battlefield, a vast plain where Varek's forces awaited them like dark clouds on the horizon. Kale felt his heart pounding in rhythm with every step he took. This was it, the culmination of their efforts and hopes for a brighter future. When they reached the battlefield, Varek stood at the forefront of his army, a menacing figure clad in dark armor with an aura that exuded malice. "Foolish humans!" Varek bellowed across the expanse separating them. "You dare oppose me? You will pay dearly for your insolence." Kale stepped forward defiantly, raising his sword high above his head as he shouted back, "We will not bow to tyranny. Today we fight for our freedom." With that declaration echoing through the air like thunderclaps, the battle commenced. Lyra unleashed beams of energy from her ship above while Kale led his warriors into combat against Varek's forces below. The clash of swords and sounds of energy blasts filled the air as chaos erupted around them. In that moment, amidst swirling dust and flashing lights, Kale felt an overwhelming sense of purpose surge within him. They were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for something greater than themselves. As warriors clashed on all sides, their destinies intertwined, the rise of guardians had begun. The final confrontation. The battlefield stretched before Kale, Yarok, and Lyra, a vast expanse of earth scorched by the remnants of energy blasts and littered with debris from the ongoing conflict. As the sun rose higher in the sky, illuminating the chaos, the determination in Kale's heart burned brighter than ever. This was not just a fight for survival, it was a battle for the future of humanity. Varek's forces loomed ominously on the horizon, a dark tide of armored warriors and advanced technology. The air crackled with tension as both sides prepared for the inevitable clash. Kale could see Varek at the forefront of his army, a towering figure radiating malice and power. It was time to confront the enemy that threatened their very existence. "Remember what we've trained for," Kale called out to his warriors, who stood ready with weapons drawn. "Today, we fight not just for ourselves but for every soul in Kiloria." Yarok stood beside him, gripping his sword tightly. "We have each other's backs. We will not falter." Lyra hovered above them in her ship, her presence a beacon of hope. "I will provide support from above. Trust in your strength and unity." As the two armies faced each other, an eerie silence fell over the battlefield, a moment of stillness before the storm. Then, with a deafening roar, Varek raised his sword high and charged forward, his army following like a wave crashing against the shore. "Now!" Kale shouted, leading his warriors into battle as they surged forward to meet their foes. The clash was immediate and brutal. Swords clanged against armor while energy blasts illuminated the sky. Kale fought valiantly, his movements fueled by adrenaline as he parried blows and struck back at Varek's soldiers. He could feel the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, every swing of his sword was a testament to his commitment to protect his home. In the midst of chaos, Yarok fought alongside him, their camaraderie evident as they covered each other's flanks. "We've got this!" Yarok yelled over the din of battle. Lyra soared above them, directing beams of energy toward Varek's forces with precision. Each strike she delivered turned the tide in favor of Kiloria's defenders. "Keep pushing forward," she urged through their telepathic link. As they fought on, Kale caught sight of Varek amidst the fray, his dark armor glinting menacingly as he cut through warriors with ease. A surge of determination coursed through Kale. He had to confront Varek directly to end this once and for all. "Yarek! Cover me!" Kale shouted as he broke away from their formation and charged toward Varek. "Be careful!" Yarek called after him but knew that Kale had made up his mind. Kale pushed through the chaos, dodging strikes and weaving between combatants until he reached Varek's side. The warlord turned to face him, a wicked grin spreading across his face. "So you've come to challenge me yourself?" Varek taunted, raising his weapon high. "Foolish human. You think you can defeat me? I won't let you destroy my home," Kale declared fiercely as he prepared for their duel. With that, they clashed, sword against sword, each strike reverberating through the air like thunder. Kale fought with everything he had, every ounce of training and determination surged within him as he parried Varek's powerful blows. "You're stronger than I expected," Varek sneered as they exchanged strikes. "But you're still just a man." Kale gritted his teeth, refusing to back down. "I may be human, but I fight for something greater than power. I fight for freedom." Their battle raged on amidst the chaos surrounding them. Warriors clashed and fell around them as if they were locked in their own world, a world where only victory or defeat mattered. Meanwhile, Yarek continued to rally their forces around him, encouraging them to push back against Varek's relentless army. "We can't give up. Fight for your families. Fight for your future." As hope began to flicker in their hearts once more, Lyra descended closer to the battlefield, her ship unleashing waves of energy that decimated clusters of Varek's soldiers. Together, she shouted telepathically to Kale and Yarek. "You must unite your strength." In that moment of clarity amidst chaos, Kale felt a surge of energy flow through him, a connection forged between him, Yarek, and Lyra that transcended words. They were more than allies, they were guardians united against darkness. With renewed vigor, Kale called out to Yarek. "Let's finish this together." Yarek nodded resolutely as they moved in sync toward Varek, a united front against tyranny. They fought side by side, their movements fluid and precise as they engaged Varek once more. Varek roared in frustration as he struggled against their combined efforts. It was clear that he underestimated their bond, the strength that came from unity. As they pressed forward together, Kale delivering powerful strikes while Yarek provided support, the tide began to turn against Varek's forces. The warriors of Kiloria rallied behind them, inspired by their courage and determination. But just when it seemed victory was within reach, Varek unleashed a devastating attack fueled by dark energy that sent shockwaves through the battlefield. The ground trembled beneath them as chaos erupted anew. Kale stumbled but quickly regained his footing. He could see fear creeping into the hearts of those around him. "We can't let fear take hold. We must stand strong." With newfound resolve igniting within him once more, Kale raised his sword high above his head and shouted defiantly at Varek, "You will not win. We will not be enslaved." In response to Kale's declaration, Lyra summoned her remaining energy reserves from her ship above, channeling it into a brilliant beam aimed directly at Varek. The beam struck true, illuminating the battlefield in blinding light, as it collided with Varek's dark energy field. The impact sent shockwaves rippling outward, a force so powerful it knocked both warriors off their feet. As dust settled around them, the battlefield fell eerily silent, the air thick with anticipation as everyone awaited what would happen next. Kale slowly rose from where he lay, his heart pounding in his chest, as he looked toward where Varek had stood moments before.